Not was the Word, but in the beginning was the mind energy, and the mind energy became flesh. That's just a restatement of the law of sowing and reaping. So whatever mind energy you put into your flesh is going to become your experience in life. And it doesn't matter who that mind energy is about. It can be about someone you've never met. It can be about your next door neighbor. You get the original of it, not they. You're the one who receives it first. Now, think about the person that you have in your life that's a conflict for you right now. What kind of thoughts have you been thinking about them? What kind of feelings have you been having about them? And then let me ask, do you really want to live with those thoughts and those feelings when they become your flesh? I'd say that to you in the same way that I'd say to the farmer. Do you really want to live with the crop of wheat when you say you want corn? The time to change it isn't when you're trying to take the crop off the field. You got to change it before you sow the seed. And that's real obvious with a farmer in a field. But for most people, it's not very obvious, because most people are kind of primitive. They don't realize the connection between the sowing of the mind energy and the reaping of the experience in life. We could almost imagine probably a time when farmers, well, there probably weren't any farmers. We were just beginning into agriculture. And it was probably some sort of a primitive tribal system. You know, people gathered around their huts, and you can imagine that one day old Charlie had been sitting back watching for years what was going on, and he noticed that every time he took the waste of those juicy, ripe, red things that they'd come to call tomatoes, every time that they threw them somewhere, in just a few months, there were tomatoes growing there. And he started to think about this, and there must be some cause-effect relationship between this tomato waste and new tomatoes. I wonder what it is. And he started to really watch closely and decided that maybe these little tiny white things had something to do with it. So he gathered some of these little tiny white things, and he went around to everybody in the tribe and he said, look, I'm going to name these seeds, and watch what's going to happen. I'm going to grow a crop of tomatoes. And he went and he dumped them in the ground. And everybody kind of, old Charlie's flipped his wig. And they laughed. But Charlie had a tomato crop. Now, most of humanity, I think, is still at that primitive stage where they don't know what it is that grows tomatoes in their lives. They think they've got nothing to do with it. That's just the way life is. In the beginning is the mind energy. Whatever mind energy we put into this system, it's going to become our life. And whether you like it or not is irrelevant.